If you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, and you want to be successful when it comes to reaching your health and fitness goals, but you just feel stuck right now, this message is really going to help you out. So let's just say that you want to have more success when it comes to reaching your goals. And maybe that might be looking a certain way or feeling a certain way. It might be, getting rid of the man boobs and the beer belly. Maybe it's getting off the medications, or maybe having more energy, or fitting into your old favorite clothes, or maybe having more sex drive, whatever it is that your health and fitness goals are. But right now you just feel stuck. Once again, this video is really going to help you out because it's all about taking messy action, right? Not perfect action, but messy action. See, we all know somebody, or maybe it might be you even right now that's watching this, where you're waiting for the perfect day, the perfect opportunity, the perfect time. Listen, there's no such thing, okay? But yet we're continuing to tell ourselves this story that there's this perfect opportunity and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. I'll be the first one to tell you, you're going to be waiting for many, many years, Now, what you're initially going to be also missing out on is what's called missed opportunity, right? Meaning that you're waiting and waiting and waiting for this perfect opportunity that's never going to come. There's a lot of missed opportunities along the process. I have this friend that, he really wants to start just doing more within his business. And he's mentioned about taking this course and, doing all this different research and materials. And honestly, this has been going on for probably about 6 months now, And he's a business owner. He knows what he should be doing, but yet he's waiting for the perfect day just to do something, right? Because he wants all his T's, crossed, all his I's dotted. And at the same time, there's so much missed opportunities, right? Because he could have been just taking messy action. Because let's face it, like, for starting, nobody is perfect overnight, right? Like, everybody that you can see, Michael Jordan, right? The greatest fitness person of all time, whoever, right? Celebrities, all that stuff. Everybody had to start somewhere. But it's through those journeys, right, of just getting started, you learn what works, you learn what doesn't work. I know for me, obviously being a business owner, that when you first got started in business and maybe you're promoting yourself and you're making more content on social media or whatever the case may be, you sound awkward, you sound kind of cringe, right? And then over time, the more and more, right, just like how Napoleon Hill talks about his book, Outwitting the Devil, repetition is the mother of all learning. So the more you're promoting yourself, the more content you're creating, you start to get a little bit better, right? You're not this noob, right? This beginner anymore. Well, it's the same thing also on your health and fitness journey, And so with this individual, one of my friends, he's been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for this perfect opportunity and taking all these different courses and taking all these different things to help him, right? Instead of just getting started, right? And taking the right action step. And right now, maybe that's you, right? Maybe it's not your business, but maybe it's your own health where you're waiting for the perfect day or you're waiting after the holidays. We hear that all the time, especially around, Q4. Oh, well, it's too hard to get into shape during the holidays. No, it's not. That is just an excuse that you're making, And maybe you're waiting till, the finances are in shape. Listen, if you're broke now, you're always going to be broke, plain and simple. Right? It's not going to be like this one of these things where you make $1 million and then, you get this career advancement and you're all of a sudden like, oh, I'm going to start getting in better shape now. No, realistically, your habits, right? Your money habits, your money mindset is what got you to where you are right now. So if you instantly got all this money, your same money habits and money mindset is going to make you spend more of this money and et cetera, et cetera. And you're going to continue to, unfortunately, create excuses, right, as to why you can't do something, right? Because realistically, if you want to do something, you just take the right action step, even if it's messy. And that's what I'm trying to get at in today's episode with you. Because let's face it, if you're stuck right now, you're feeling discouraged, and you're like, man, I tried this diet, I tried this, I'm just going to wait, or I'm just going to stop until something happens. Listen, nothing's going to happen, okay? You just need to take the first step. And if, let's just say you tried taking your first step on your health and fitness journey already, and it's been going on for months, or maybe it's been going on for years, where you tried this diet, it didn't work. You tried this diet, it didn't work. You tried this program, it didn't work. You tried these workouts, it didn't work. You got to continue to take that step. You can't just say, well, hey, it's not working for me right now. Imagine how close you might be to success. And Napoleon Hill also talks about this, which is 3 feet away from gold. And I'm sure if you just type in that image on Google, you'll see it's like there's a miner that's chopping away, you know, and he stops 3 feet away from this gold and these gems and these rubies. And somebody else comes right on in and he continues to chop away, and boom, he gets the success. He gets the gold. That's you realistically right now if you're watching this. Because something inside of you is saying, hey, continue to strive. Continue to put one foot in front of the other. Continue to not quit. Continue to not give up. There is something deep inside of you that wants to be successful. And then there's this other side of you that says, you know what? Maybe this isn't just in my deck of cards that I've been handled. You know, I haven't had success at losing weight in the past. Why should I continue to waste more time? Listen, that's the bad wolf. You cannot feed that, because the more that you feed that lie, the stronger it's going to become. And the farther you're away, or the farther you're going to be away from having success at reaching your goals. That's just the truth. You know, Alex Hormozy, he's a business guy. In case you don't know who he is, he has this one podcast that he referenced, or a quote or a phrase, whatever. I'll probably butcher it, but it kind of goes like this. There was this case study where one class, they had to make pottery, and they had the whole entire semester to make the best pot. Okay. And another class, right, they had the whole entire semester, right? The other case study, they had a whole entire semester to make as many pots as possible. So imagine that, right? You're in college, and it's just like you have this big, huge, class full of pottery, right? And let's just say you divide up the class. Maybe there's 50 students on this side, and their job is to make just the best ever, single best ever piece of pottery, right? And the other class, 50% of the people, right? 50 kids, they're over here and they're making just as many different pots as possible. Their job is just to make as many as possible versus one. Okay. Well, by the end of the semester, they found out, based on this story, that the individuals, right, the case study, with all these kids pumping out all these different pots, right? Like it didn't matter, right, in terms of, like, once again, how it looked. But sure enough, by the end of it, because of all the repetition, their pots actually turned out to be better than the case study over here, or the people just making that one single pot. And it just kind of goes to show you, right, that messy action is probably the best thing that anybody can do. Because one, it's all about still striving forward, even when you're not seeing success. And I think there's just so much mental strength and also emotional strength when it comes to just saying, hey, even though it's not working for me right now, I'm going to continue to try and not quit and not fail and not give up. And that's what we need more of. We need more men to step up, especially in today's age, right? Where it's like, hey, we're not seeing that success, but most importantly, we're not quitting. We're not throwing the towel. We're not giving up, And so when it comes to you on your health and fitness journey, listen, I get it, right? It is confusing. There are all these different diets. There's all these different workouts, and it is a lot of confusion, and it is discouraging when you're trying your best, but you're not seeing results. Let me ask you this, right? Let's flip the switch a little bit. If, let's just say, they decide to make some magic fat loss pill and you took it, right? And let's just say within 2 days, you lost all that body fat. You lost 50 pounds, you got six-pack abs, you got off your medication, more energy, more confidence, the whole 9 yards. Like, sure, that's going to help you out. You're like, yeah, you're going to feel amazing. But did you actually learn anything in that process? Meaning, like, what if, let's say, your kids who are now struggling, like, they want to get in shape. And they're like, hey, Dad, I don't want to take a pill. I want to work out. I want to eat healthier. How do I do it? I see that you're in great shape. How do you do it? You don't even know what to tell them, because all you did was take a shortcut. All you did was just cheat code the process and take that magic fat loss pill. You can't even help your own kids because you don't even know what it's like going through that hard process of losing the body fat and building up the mental strength and the resilience of not quitting and not giving up and having what's called patience, right? You don't have any of that. It's the same thing with lottery winners. When they get the lottery, they end up going broke within 6 months to a year. Because once again, they don't have the habits of investing their money and saving their money and using it wisely. Who you become in that process of actually reaching your health and fitness goals is way more important than what you actually get at the end of it. I'll be the first one to tell you that. Like when you learn, okay, hey, how do you eat these foods? How do you fit in your favorite foods? How do you train in a way, right? And you can continue on that success. You become this individual that says, hey, I'm showing up today whether I feel like it or not. And regardless if life throws me curveballs or I'm traveling or anything like this, hey, I've been through that storm before. I know how to handle these curveballs. I know how to pivot. I know how to make adjustments to still strive and progress on my health and fitness journey. Because guess what? You didn't take that magic fat loss pill. You didn't just, try to shortcut the process. And once again, who you become during the process is way more important. Because think about like the knowledge, the skills, the discipline, all these things now that maybe you potentially can teach to others. Maybe that's your coworker in case they're struggling. Maybe it's your kids, as I mentioned before. But who you become in the process is so more beneficial than just what you get by the end of it. Because let's face it, if let's just say like you end up, taking that magic fat loss pill, and let's just say like they discontinue that pill, whatever the case may be, or after a year it stopped getting the results, like what are you going to do then? You're completely screwed. Rather than it's like, okay, hey, I've been in this position before. I know what to do. I need to make these adjustments here. I have all the right knowledge. I know how to hit the right macros, the right workouts. I know how to bounce back from this and still get in shape. And so that's what I'm saying is like at the end of the day, like there's never going to be this, magic fat loss pill. There's never going to be this perfect time or this perfect opportunity or, after Monday or after the holidays or beginning the New Year's. Stop. It's way more beneficial. Just going back to the POTS, right, that we mentioned with Alex Hormozy in that case study, it's way more beneficial for you to say, hey, instead of you waiting for, it to stop raining, instead of you waiting for after the holidays, instead of you waiting for January 1st, instead of you waiting for, hey, you got to go grocery shopping and, get all your ducks in a row and, get all the right foods and until you can get this raise at work or until you retire from work so you can have more time, you're just wasting time. Let me repeat that. The more you're continuing to wait for the perfect time, you're just wasting even more time. And let's face it, time is a precious commodity. You can never gain that back. You can always make your money back in life. You can't make back that time. It's finite. So instead of you waiting for the perfect time, just take that messy action. Even if you already had failures in the past, right? Going back to, what Thomas Edison said. It's not that he found 1,000 different ways on, failing when it comes to a light bulb. He just found 1,000 different ways on how not to make a light bulb. Flip the switch, right? And let that flipping of the switch encourage you to help you to continue to strive forward and put one foot in front of the other and focus on consistency rather than intensity. Focus on progression rather than perfection. Focus on just showing up. And saying, hey, you know what? Like, I'm not going to wait until the perfect time. I'm just going to continue to, put one foot in front of the other, show up today, and just take that action. Because you never know what's going to happen. Once again, going back to my friend with his business. Like, he can continue to wait and take all these courses and get all these certifications and wait for the perfect day. Or he can just do the things that he knows he should be doing right now. And sure enough, like, you're always going to... There's such a big difference between book smart and street smart. And I'm always going to be the advocate with the street smart because you learn through trial and errors. You learn through failures in life. You don't learn through just papers and studies and all that stuff. You got to take that right action. But you're never going to know if it's going to work or not until you actually take that action. Because somebody could take this course, right, about like this business and about this thing and wait for that perfect time. And let's just say it doesn't work for them. Because just because it works for somebody doesn't mean it's going to work for you. But now, granted, instead of us waiting 6 months or something like that for the perfect opportunity that's never going to come, we decided to put our boots to the floor and grind it out and get started. And sure enough, within a week, you're going to find out if it's going to work for you or not. And then if not, you can pivot and try something else. And like, that's why I'm such a huge fan and advocate of working on yourself physically, right? Of losing fat, building muscle, and getting in better shape, because you can find out so much about yourself. You can build up this resilience. You can build up this mental strength, because you realize here on your health and fitness journey, you can't take shortcuts. There is no magic fat loss pill. You want to go ahead and get surgery? Go ahead, do it. But like realistically, all these people that, get this surgery, they typically regain the weight right back within 5 years. It's sad. So, what is the best mindset for you to be having? If let's just say that you're waiting for this perfect opportunity that's never going to come, okay? You need to focus on KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, right? And that's just showing up each and every single day and just saying, okay, if here's where I'm trying to get to, what can I do today to help me progress and get towards that journey? Is it walking? Is it drinking more water? Is it eating more protein? Is it tracking my macros? Is it, reaching out for accountability and support and maybe somebody coaching you and teaching you the blind spots, right? That you're not seeing, and maybe that's why you're not struggling, right? Or maybe that's, why you can't get there yet. Whatever it is, what can you do? That's the question you need to ask yourself each and every day. And then from second is take that first step. That's it. Each and every day is take that step, moving one step closer to your goals. This is, in fact, actually how one of our coaching clients, Chris, was able to lose over 25 pounds and get six-pack abs all within 12 weeks because he decided to take messy action. For the longest, he was not having any success, and he kept on blaming it on this diet and this workout protocol. But the reality is he's running two businesses. He has a family. He's underneath all this stress. He needs to sign up for our coaching program so we can help him and coach him and teach him what small little tweaks to make. As soon as you start making those small little tweaks, instantly start seeing better results. Instantly start losing more body fat, building more muscle, even underneath all his crazy work stress that he was under. Because we're able to help him and coach him and teach him what were those blind spots. And once again, it took him a long time of trying this and trying this and trying this, and nothing seemed to work for him until he decided to take one more attempt and invest into his health and fitness goals and sign up for our coaching program. And that's when we were able to coach him and teach him. But he didn't continue to say, hey, I'm just going to wait for the perfect day. No, he took action. And that's what led to Chris getting the results that he wanted. And you can get the same success on your health and fitness journey. In fact, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, there's some links down below in the description box to help you out. The first one is a free fat loss and muscle building guide. The second one is schedule a strategy call with either myself or somebody from my team and figure out, talk to somebody, right? Like, what are the blind spots that maybe you're not seeing right now? And maybe that's why you're stuck. Definition of insanity, right? You can't continue to see anything different if you continue to do the same things over and over again. You're just going to expect to get the same results. Maybe the reason why, once again, you're not seeing the success that you want is you keep on going back to what has already failed you, or worse, you're just not even trying anymore. And you're continuing to say, hey, I'll get started next week, or I'll get started after the holidays, or I'll get started after the New Year's. Wrong mindset to have. You're always going to be continuing to yo-yo diet where you lose weight, gain weight, lose weight. If you want to be serious when it comes to reaching healthy fitness goals, you need to start showing up for yourself each and every day. Guys, I really hope you guys got some value from today's episode. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below letting me know your feedback. And as always, guys, this has been Joe Callari with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.